For more than 4 decades, Oprah Winfrey has been the face of strength, wisdom, and inspiration. A woman who built an empire from nothing and became one of the most influential voices in the world. From her humble beginnings in rural Mississippi to her rise as the Queen of Talk, Oprah's story has inspired millions to believe that no dream is too big. But lately, something has changed. Whispers have begun to swirl, and fans are starting to worry. After years of being the unstoppable force behind the Oprah Winfrey Show OWN network and countless charitable ventures, the legendary host seems to be facing battles far greater than anyone imagined. Those closest to her have described her recent struggles as a storm behind the smiles. For someone who once radiated endless energy and optimism, Oprah's public appearances have become noticeably fewer. Her interviews, once filled with laughter and sharp intuition, now carry a tone of reflection, even fatigue. Sources suggest she's been quietly reevaluating her life, her health, and her future in the public eye. Fans who have followed her journey since the 1980s are holding their breath, wondering if the woman who taught the world how to live your best life is now facing a chapter she never wanted to write what really happened. To Oprah Winfrey, why are her closest friends growing concerned? And what truth is she finally ready to face? For most of her life, Oprah Winfrey has stood as a symbol of unshakable resilience, the woman who turned pain into purpose and adversity into triumph. From the moment she first appeared on television in the early 1980s, her presence carried warmth, empathy, and strength. To millions around the globe, Oprah wasn't just a talk show host, she was family. But behind her radiant smile and commanding presence, those close to her say Oprah has been fighting quiet battles that few ever suspected. In recent years, Oprah has spoken about feeling tired in a way that success can't fix. Friends describe her as reflective, more withdrawn and less eager to appear on camera. For a woman who once lived by the mantra, "The next chapter is always better," this sudden change in tone has worried many. Health rumors began circulating after fans noticed that Oprah appeared noticeably frail during a few recent public appearances. Some attributed it to the natural process of aging. After all, at 70, she has carried an unimaginable workload for decades. But others believe there's more to the story. A longtime colleague revealed, Oprah has always been the strongest person in any room. But lately, you can tell something weighs on her. She's quieter, more distant. Sources close to her inner circle mention that Oprah has faced mounting pressure from multiple fronts: the decline of her television empire, the constant scrutiny of social media, and the emotional toll of decades spent uplifting others while often neglecting her own peace. Her own network, once envisioned as a groundbreaking platform for empowerment, has struggled to maintain the same influence it had during its early years. Although Oprah remains financially secure, the shifting media landscape has challenged even her legendary status. It's said that she's been forced to watch the world she helped shape slowly evolve beyond her control. At the same time, Oprah's closest friends, including Gayle King, have voiced concern about her mental and emotional health. Gayle has described Oprah as deeply introspective these days, saying she often speaks about legacy, meaning, and the fleeting nature of time. She's thinking about what really matters, Gayle admitted in a recent interview. And perhaps that's where the storm truly lies, not in scandal or failure, but in a deep, human reckoning. After decades of pouring her soul into others, Oprah may be realizing that she's left little for herself. The woman who spent her life telling others how to heal is now learning how to do it privately. She's reportedly spending more time at her Montecito Estate, where she finds comfort in solitude, reading, gardening, and long walks with her dogs. Those who have visited her say she's still warm and gracious, but quieter. "She listens more than she talks now," said one visitor. "It's like she's studying life again, trying to understand what's next." For someone who has lived every day under the world's gaze, that silence is deafening. Even fans have noticed the shift. Her once lively social media accounts have grown more sparse, with fewer updates and public appearances. And when she does speak, it's often with an underlying tone of gratitude and finality. Some believe Oprah may be preparing for her own graceful exit from public life. Others think she's facing health challenges she's chosen to keep private. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The world's most powerful woman is confronting something she can't simply talk her way through. The storm behind the smiles has been brewing for years, and it seems Oprah is finally ready to face it, not as a media icon, but as a woman rediscovering herself. For decades, Oprah Winfrey has been the embodiment of power and poise, the woman who carried herself through fame, failure, and fierce competition with grace. But lately, behind her carefully composed public image, whispers of worry have begun to echo among those who know her. Close friends and longtime colleagues have revealed that Oprah's recent retreat from public life is not just about slowing down, it's about survival. Although Oprah has never been one to discuss her private health matters in detail, she has occasionally hinted at struggles that remind me I'm still human. Insiders describe her as someone who often ignores pain to keep working, a habit that began decades ago when she built her career from the ground up, often sleeping only a few hours a night, juggling countless commitments, and carrying the weight of an empire on her shoulders. Now, that relentless pace seems to have caught up with her. Friends say Oprah has been dealing with recurring fatigue and other health concerns that have forced her to reconsider her schedule. She used to be unstoppable, one insider shared. Now she listens to her body, and sometimes it's telling her to stop, but it's not just her health that's taken a toll. The emotional strain of carrying the expectations of millions for more than 40 years has begun to show. For someone who has always been seen as a source of wisdom and guidance, Oprah has quietly admitted that even she has moments of uncertainty and fear. She's human, and she's been through so much, Gayle King said in an interview. People forget that for every inspiring moment she's given the world, she's also had to carry the loneliness that comes with being that person. Loneliness. It's a word few would associate with Oprah Winfrey. Yet those close to her say it's something she's wrestled with for years. Despite having a partner, Stedman Graham, for decades, Oprah has often spoken of the unique solitude that comes with her fame. "You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone," she once confessed. That quiet ache may have deepened in recent years as she watched friends age, loved ones pass away, and her own role in the entertainment world shift. There's a sense that she's now confronting the fragility of life in a way she never had time to before. The passing of influential figures she once admired, from Maya Angelou to Sidney Poitier and Tina Turner, has reportedly had a deep emotional effect on her. Each loss, a reminder of her own mortality, of time moving faster than she'd like. "She's been reflecting on her legacy a lot lately," said a producer who worked with her for over 20 years. "She talks about whether she's done enough, whether she's made peace with everything she's built. And perhaps that's where the heartbreak lies. For a woman who built her identity on strength, healing, and control, the realization that some things are beyond her reach, time, aging, loss, has been difficult to accept. Still, even in her quieter days, Oprah continues to give what she can. She's become deeply involved in philanthropy, quietly funding educational programs, women's shelters, and global health initiatives. But unlike before, she does it without fanfare. "It's not about being seen anymore," she reportedly said. "It's about being useful." Those around her describe this new phase as one of humility and reckoning, a time where Oprah is finally confronting the one thing she's avoided for years, her own vulnerability, and as difficult as that may be, it might also be the beginning of her greatest transformation yet. Because even when things aren't looking good for Oprah Winfrey, her story reminds the world of one timeless truth, that even the strongest among us have the right to rest, reflect, and simply be human. For nearly half a century, Oprah Winfrey has been the heartbeat of American television, a storyteller, healer, and visionary who turned simple conversations into moments of transformation. But those who have followed her career closely can feel it now. The light that once blazed from every screen she touched is dimming, not from failure, but from a woman choosing to step back from the noise she once ruled. For years, Oprah seemed unstoppable. After the Oprah Winfrey Show ended in 2011, many wondered if her influence would fade. Instead, she launched the OWN network, produced acclaimed films, built partnerships with Apple TV Plus, and continued to shape the cultural conversation. Yet behind the scenes, maintaining that empire came with a cost, emotionally and physically. A former producer revealed she never really stopped working. Even when she wasn't on camera, she was strategizing, reading scripts, planning new projects. But you could see it, the fatigue. It wasn't just physical exhaustion, it was soul exhaustion. Over the last few years, Oprah's appearances have grown more selective. She no longer dominates every red carpet or talk show lineup. And when she does appear, it's often with a softer, quieter tone, a woman who no longer feels the need to prove anything to anyone. During one of her recent public appearances, she admitted, "There's a time when you have to step aside and let the next generation take the conversation forward. I've said what I came here to say." Those words hit hard. For her millions of fans, it sounded like a farewell. Privately, Oprah has been scaling back her commitments. Many of her staffers at OWN and Harpo Productions have confirmed that she's delegated most of her creative responsibilities. Her longtime business associates describe her as focused on closure, preparing for what she calls the next season of peace. Some insiders say that Oprah has spoken openly about what it feels like to fade away with grace, a phrase that seems to capture her current mindset. Rather than fighting the inevitable passing of time, she's embracing it. "I've built the dream I used to pray for," she said in one reflective moment. "Now I just want to live inside it." Still, the idea of Oprah stepping away feels almost surreal. To her fans, she's not just a television icon, she's a constant presence, a moral compass in uncertain times. Her book club selections shaped culture, her interviews redefined vulnerability, and her generosity changed lives across continents. And yet those close to her say she no longer seeks the spotlight. "She's tired of performing strength," one close friend shared. "She wants to be real, to be quiet, to feel the world without the pressure of always inspiring it." The Oprah brand, once synonymous with endless motion, has evolved into something gentler. She still mentors young creators and supports her foundations, but she does it all from a place of stillness. Her days are slower now, filled with reading, meditation, time with Stedman, and conversations with a handful of trusted friends. Perhaps most telling was a recent statement she made in a small, private interview. "I used to think my work was my purpose. Now I realize my peace is my purpose." It was the kind of line that only Oprah could deliver. Raw, wise, and heartbreakingly human. For those who grew up with her, it's hard to imagine a world without Oprah guiding the cultural conversation. But maybe that's her final lesson. That sometimes the greatest strength lies not in conquering the world, but in learning to let it go. As the lights dim on her empire, Oprah Winfrey is not vanishing, she's transforming. And in her quiet withdrawal from fame, she may have found what she's been searching for all along: peace, authenticity, and a life beyond the cameras. When people speak of Oprah Winfrey, they rarely talk about her as just a celebrity. To many, she represents something deeper, a mirror of hope, survival, and transformation. From a childhood marked by poverty and pain to becoming one of the most powerful women on earth, her story was never about fame. It was about faith in what could be. But now, as she steps into the quietest season of her life, Oprah seems to be writing the final lines of a chapter that changed the world. Friends say she has become increasingly nostalgic, reflecting on moments that defined her legacy. The day she gave away cars to an audience of working mothers, the interview with Tom Cruise that became pop culture legend, and the heart-wrenching stories of survivors who found strength through her show. Yet when asked about what she's most proud of, Oprah's answer is surprisingly simple: that I made people feel seen. That single sentence sums up a life's purpose. Her impact reaches far beyond television. Through her Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, she's given hundreds of young women a chance to rewrite their destinies. Through her countless book recommendations, she has shaped the way an entire generation reads. And through her honesty, she has normalized conversations about trauma, healing, and self-worth. But now, as the cameras fade and her public appearances become rare, those close to her say Oprah's priorities have shifted completely. She no longer wants to build empires. She wants to nurture peace. She talks about time like it's the most precious thing she has left, said a friend from her inner circle. She doesn't want to waste another second on things that don't fill her soul. It's a stark contrast to the Oprah the world once knew, the unstoppable powerhouse juggling dozens of projects at once. Now her days begin with quiet mornings in Montecito, surrounded by nature, where she journals, prays, and reads. She spends long hours tending to her garden or hosting intimate dinners for close friends. She's not chasing anything anymore, another friend said softly. She's finally content. Still, there's an unspoken melancholy in this transition, a realization that even legends grow old, and even the strongest spirits can't outrun time. Fans who have followed her journey for decades feel a collective ache, sensing that this may truly be the end of an era. The talk shows, the thunderous applause, the golden words that inspired millions, all now preserved in memory, not broadcast. Yet, Oprah's quiet departure is not one of defeat. It's a statement of grace. After years of guiding others to live authentically, she's choosing to do the same. She's no longer the voice behind every camera. She's the woman behind her own peace. In a heartfelt message shared during a private event earlier this year, Oprah said something that moved everyone to silence. The story was never about me. It was about you. About what we can all become when we stop letting our pain define us. Those words echoed through the crowd, a final reminder of why her presence mattered so deeply. As Oprah closes this chapter, she leaves behind a legacy that no one can replicate. Not just a talk show, not just a network, but a movement. One that taught the world how to listen, forgive, and rise. And maybe that's the truest measure of her greatness, that she doesn't need the world to keep talking about her. Her impact lives on in every person who once found strength in her words, in every woman who dared to dream bigger, and in every soul who learned that even when things aren't looking good, light still finds a way in. For Oprah Winfrey, the cameras may stop rolling, but her story will never truly end. It will keep living, in hearts, in lessons, and in the quiet power of a woman who dared to heal the world simply by being herself.